So, career check-ins and mentors. I wanted to put this chapter in, even though in all of the research and my awareness of DA, this is meant to be automatic and meant to be included. Practically, when I'm talking with some DAs, it doesn't appear to be that good. If anything, I might describe some of what I'm hearing as a bit checkbox. So, I would like you to have career check-ins with your assigned mentor. That might be your line manager. It might be department manager or someone in the team. You probably have a check-in of some sort regularly, one would hope, with university. But you can also have your own mentor. It's a good discipline. It's something quite useful to pay for as well, right? I like the discipline of paying for a mentor because now there's a service level. And it's perfectly fine to have mentors that are voluntary, right? And I presume, typically speaking, it's not voluntary with a DA. It's just it's an employee, and they're being paid by the company. And one of their new responsibilities is to supervise and help you. But I also like the idea of independent mentoring. Now, look, just like any sportsman, sportswoman has a team of coaches, not just one, typically, right? You need that too, or you could benefit from it. It's very useful having someone dispassionate, not in the company. Quite useful, that, right? Someone not in the company checking in with you on a regular basis. Every week, every month, every 2 months. But every week can sometimes feel quite a lot. I've always had this. Not always, but in the last 10 plus years, I've always had some kind of either a formalized mentor approach and a coach, sometimes multiple coaches at the same time, that I've been paying. Now, I like the idea of doing that, and it's a good discipline because if you're paying them, I like the fact that they're completely dedicated to me because I'm paying them, right? They have to be there or I'm not going to pay them, right? And they have to give me their full attention, right? I don't want them checking the phone and, right, if it's free, okay? I don't want a half an hour session or a 60-minute session being squeezed into 5 minutes because they're busy, right? So that's why I like the idea I like the commercial relationship there. And then I what I do with these mentors and in these career check-ins for me is what I'm saying is, look, this is where I want to go. Please remind me. Like, this is what I want to happen. And then irritatingly, annoyingly, next week or next period, they're going to ask me about it. And I'm going to go, oh, yeah. So you make a note and you get it done and you make it happen. And then that approach is really helpful because you move things forward. Now, you can do this yourself. I just prefer it. I prefer having someone help me, right? I just think of any really, really important tennis player, any footballer, any sports person. They have a team. Tennis is really interesting because it's one person whacking the ball around, right, on each side of the court. But there's a team. There's a team of 6 or 7 sometimes, right? Managing everything and helping that individual be successful. So I think I would like you to be scheduling regular career check-ins with your mentors. Now, the formal ones, yes. The ones that you should be assigned, that I understand you're meant to be assigned, yes. What I have seen anecdotally is sometimes they are a little bit limited, poor quality. I had one colleague I was helping recently whose mentor just keeps missing their meetings. I find that quite offensive, actually, right? I mean, is that the wrong word? No, I think it's really rude because I think the line manager is taking it and just going, oh, yeah, they don't really want that. You should. And if you're not getting it from your line manager, be clear, be sensitive, be polite, but be clear it's important to you, right? But sometimes they're just not good, okay? You can tell very quickly. If they're not good, it's just because, well, there's a whole host of reasons, okay? But you need really good people around you, okay? Go and get some. Now, where can you get good mentors? Let's talk about that. Internally, typically anyone that's more senior than you, and ideally a few, like 10 years or something. There's no rule here, but anyone that's more senior, that's got some scars, got some experience, that you like how they come across, you like their approach, you like their writing, however you've interacted with them, you can take a meeting with them. We'll come to networking later on. You could take a meeting with them and just say, look, could we talk on a regular basis? I'd love for you to be a mentor. Sometimes companies have formal mentoring programs, and you can apply. You can go to HR and they will fit you out with a mentor from a different department, whatever their policies are, right? And I've seen varying levels of success and quality here. Worst case, you need to go and get your own. Best case, you're getting really good advice. Someone is switched on, they're listening to you, and in that weekly, monthly meeting, they are fully listening to you, they are challenging you, they're asking why, they're making you jump, they're making you perform, right? They are holding you to account to an extent, right? They are challenging you to say, look, you did mention updating your CV was important to you, so when can we see that? Right. You did mention that you've seen this gap here. What are you doing about that? And this is the benefit of your line manager, right? Line manager, hopefully, if you've got a good relationship and they're good quality, then they can be helping you by saying, look, I hear you, I'll make a note, I'm going to speak to HR, I'm going to speak to our boss, I'm going to make sure you present in the next quarterly meeting, okay? I'll help you, I'll support you, but we're going to do this. Are you up for that? Yes. Great, right? So that's ideally this kind of constructive level of challenge and support you should be seeing. Sometimes it's just not forthcoming internally, and you may get similar poor quality, I don't know, from the university. So I do think this is an area where you may be prepared, you should potentially be prepared to either invest financially, to look around and hire someone that can sit down and really give you that time and attention. They don't need to be an industry expert, right? They just need to have had experience in industry enough to be able to guide you, okay? Or you find someone internally and you're lucky enough that you don't need to incentivize them, because if it's someone internally, you probably don't want to be paying them. That can look a bit weird. That can create some issues. But if someone internally, then and you're getting on well with them, fantastic. So you can often look out and seek out senior executives. It is always flattering when a reportee somewhere or when a younger, typically it's younger, so it's not always, but typically younger, when a junior, let's go for junior, when a junior employee says, do you think it would be possible, could we do some mentoring on a regular basis? Now, the major issue you will find, the more senior the individual, the less time they have, and that can be a problem. One of the best things, by the way, about a mentor, a senior mentor, is they can help. Now, it's not about telling stories, but you can say, I'm facing this challenge, and having someone that you can go to and ask their opinion, and someone who, in some cases, can pull some strings for you. This is not guaranteed, and it should not be expected, but sometimes... here's how I've helped others in their career as a mentor. So I've been a mentor, and then all of a sudden something pops up, and then someone over here is messing around with them for whatever reason, right? Another junior, senior to them, but another junior is being a bit of an idiot, is frustrated, wound up, whatever, and is causing some problems, some strife, some irritation, is getting in the way. Whatever the issue. And you see politics, people politics lists all the time. Sometimes as the senior executive, a quick email, a quick request. For example, I'd like Daniel, you talk to the head of division, their division, you say, I wonder, could Daniel help me with this thing? Can I request Daniel's help? And then the head of division goes, yeah, sure, no worries. Yeah, Daniel, just sort it out with your line manager. But and then so that goes all the way down the chain, right? And then the other individual there just has to deal with it, right? So there are some benefits to having internal senior mentors, but you can't count on this and don't count on that level of support. But sometimes this can be really valuable for moving your career forward, because when you're one-to-one with the executive, and remember, it doesn't have to be a super senior exec, because other people very influential, right? But when you're one-to-one with them, you can be saying, well, what do you think? Where do you think I should be going? And here's my career plan and blah, blah, blah. There can be benefits. But just be sensitive here. Let's go back to career check-in. So career check-in and mentoring. Make sure you're on a regular basis having good quality career check-ins with your mentor. Can I also suggest that you ask the following question to the mentor? Maybe every time. But sometimes every time it can be a bit too obvious, but a great question to ask. What one thing do you think I should do differently? Or to boost my career prospects, what do you think I should do differently? And the what one thing really focuses the attention of the individual you're speaking to. And if they're able to be as honest as possible with you, then sometimes it can be hugely valuable. Hugely valuable if you can listen and if you can take the feedback. And also if you think the feedback's valid, right? So there's a whole lot of if. But sometimes this can be really, really helpful. Okay, so career check-ins and mentor. There we go. Let's stop and let's move on.